All right, welcome to 52 weeks of Rust Live. I'm going to continue studying Rust. One of the surprises, for me at least, is how much I'm liking Rust. And I could see myself wanting to go deeper and deeper into the language. And to start with, I can continue what I've been doing, which is uh, exploring the language and playing around with things in a GitHub code space. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and get started. All right, so let me share my screen. Here we go. We'll go like this, looking good. All right, so 52 weeks of Rust. I believe last I checked, I was learning functions in Rust, and I'm gonna pull this up and grab a code space. Let me see, Rust. There we go, 52 weeks of Rust. And episode 2, there we go. We'll pull this up, go to code spaces, or no, I don't want to create a code space. I want to use a code space. So I want to probably use the one that I used last week. We'll go ahead and use this one. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Just like that. All right. And I can pull up the Rust documentation as well. Things are going. And okay, here we are. So I think last time when I was playing around, I started to get into functions, and that's how I started to play around with this. And let's take a look here at where I was at. Here we go. Functions right there. So I can see here I've got functions. Looks pretty straightforward to use, in that you just pass things in. Looks a little bit like Python, actually. You compile it, statements and expressions. So I think I got the gist of things here. I'm going to go on to comments, and what I can do here is notice that I've got the comments here running. That's good. So that's pretty easy. Control flow. Well, this is also, very standard if-else statements here. Nothing groundbreaking. It's pretty intuitive as well. So we got if-else here. Looks pretty good. Multiple conditionals. This is also looks a lot like Python. Let's see here. Loops. Now this might be good. Let's play with this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, go to New Terminal. Here we go. Okay, we got a new terminal here, and I guess I could create a loop inside of here, like a loops directory. And if I look at the history and see some of the things that I did, cargo new, that's what I want. So let's do a cargo new, and we'll do loops. And the idea here is that you're using the same environment. You can look at what you did in the past. That was helpful. In the case of cargo, that's how I create a project. So we'll call this loops Rust. There we go. And then if I go into loops Rust, go into the source, and here we go. We see the main. So I'll stay though up high level here and just edit the file. So we got a loops here inside of Rust. And so if I want to play around with loops, I could even put some docs in here now that I know how comments work. Say oops here. So let's make sure we can run it. So we'll say cargo run loops. We're gonna find, let's look at the history here. What happens when you're new to a language is you forget the things you learned before. Cargo build, cargo run. Is that what I'm missing? Cargo build. Oops. Does that work? Say cargo build. What does that do? But do you need to be in the, I guess I need to be in the directory. Okay. So you got to be inside cargo build. All right. So learn another thing. So you can't invoke the project tool from outside. You got to do it from inside, which makes sense. Okay. So we got that working. Key. Now with the looping here, it'll tell Rust to execute a block of code over and over forever and tell it to stop. I don't necessarily want to do that. I guess I can. Sure. Let's try it out. Let's even go to open up another terminal and let's run htop. And let's do our loop forever. And we'll put that in there. Loops forever. If I do cargo run, ooh, we look at htop. What do we got going on? We have one process here pegged out, grinding. There we go. And if I want to stop it, I just control C it. There you go. Okay, that's nice to know. I don't want to do a loop forever though. So what do I do? So let's comment that out. Go here. Go here. There we go. Comment that out. That's a loop forever. Let's do not a loop forever. Returning values from loop. So one of the uses of loop is to retry. So you know you might fail, like a thread completing its job. So we say we have this, we have a let mute counter equals 0, where result equals a loop, counter plus 1, if counter is equal to 10, break, and then counter times 2. Okay, that's kind of an interesting little loop. And let's run that in. So this loop says, here's a counter up here. So once this runs 10 times, what'll happen is this statement will then get triggered. It will break, and then it'll increment the counter by 2. So it should return 20. This should say the result is 20 when we're done. So let's do it. Let's say cargo run. Result is 20. Oh, it's kind of an interesting little piece of code. And I think with Visual Studio Code, can I comment a block, edit, toggle line comment? So that's backs. Let's try that. So let's go here. There you go. That's kind of cool. I can comment blocks as I get through with them. Like that. Okay, so that one was nice. We'll just say maybe here turns 20. Like that. And then next step, what do we got? Loop labels to disambiguate between multiple loops. If you have loops within loops, break and continue apply to the innermost loop. So you can apply a label. Never heard of that before. And here is an example of two nested loops. So we have the top here, which has a variable, the loop variable. You call this thing counting up. You have another mutable variable. You loop through. The outer loop has a label counting up, and it will count up from 0 to 2. The inner without a label counts from 10 to 9. The first break. All right, well, that's kind of interesting to play with as well. So let's try that. We'll call this the loops. Nested loops. Here we go. Now, cool. Okay, we learned some new stuff here. That's interesting. Conditional loops with while. So this is also something I do a lot in Python is use whiles. So basically we say, as long as the number is not equal to 0, then print it out. As soon as it does, then as soon as it does, then we can break. So the break is basically because we do a negative increment. So this again looks pretty similar to Python. So I'll comment this out as well. Oh, that's annoying. We just go through here and do this. There we go. And now we'll say while loop and paste that in. You can change it for fun. Let's make that 10, and then you can decrement by 2 for fun, and run. There we go. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and we see how the while loop works. So not bad, not bad. Looping through a collection. Okay. Now this is definitely something that I would want to do, is looping through some kind of a collection. Now you're starting to do real programming. And so we can again go through here and comment this stuff out. And here we go. Use collections. Because the idea here is that you could have retrieved some values from an API, for example. This could be, I don't know, buckets in S3 or sentiment analysis tags from tweets, whatever it is. And we, again, have a mutable variable, and we say while it's under 5, print basically where we're at in the index, a index. So basically this is a pointer back to where we're at in that collection. So that's very intuitive to me, proving the point that once you know one programming language, other ones start to get a lot clearer. We'll comment this out as well. And there we go. Looping through each collection. We got that. We got that. A more concise way is that. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is, I actually like this a lot better. I was like, why did they do it the other way? But this is even better. This looks exactly like Python, pretty much almost identical, in fact, to Python right here, because this is the loop variable. And you also do templating, which in Python you have to do f-string. In this case, we don't have to. So we can go through and loop through this. So let's go ahead and do cargo run. Nice. Pretty cool. And what else can we do? So, okay, good. I was able to play around with the looping which is nice. I'm actually really liking this. So what I might do is let's see if I can build something fun without doing the official documentation. So I'm going to make one more thing. So I'm going to go up again. I'm going to say episode cargo new episode 4 learn oops. So I'm making a new directory here. I'm going to go inside, close a bunch of this stuff inside of here and see if I can learn from everything I did today. So not just repeat exactly what they told me. Let's apply the knowledge. Here we go. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna just play around a little bit and say, looping fun. So I think one of the things that would be kind of cool is to generate a random number instead of just doing this. And so we can look that up. We can say Rust random number. So let's steal this. I'm liking that. I don't know who that is, but we'll link to them and say thank you. We'll say thank you. There you go. And let's take some of this code and let's just put it here. So let's do that. Got some random. We got some random generated number. Let this be that. Now that looks good. But I actually want a range. That's what I want. There we go. Generate random numbers within a range. Let me take. Let's try that. So we got a range here. If I get rid of this, will this work? I just swap this out. No clue. Cargo run. Uh-oh. Use declared create our module rand. So I gotta put that in my crate here, I guess. So now we got to look up cargo, use random, use, and let's look that up. Cargo, use rand. How do I do that? I think I covered that. You like cargo to use dependency. How do we do it? How do we do it? Okay, we can do. What if I don't want a number? Hopefully I don't have to put a number. Let's just say we just want that. There you go. Cargo run. And expected. Come on. Why cargo exists. Working dependencies. Create. So I gotta. Kind of weird to have to specify the version. But okay. What is this? Nope. Cargo. and we want to type in this and okay, there we go. Is equals. Let's do that. Did this? You do like that. Try that. Okay. Yeah, so I guess when you actually build something yourself, you learn a lot more than just going through only the documentation because you're forcing yourself to put all the pieces together that are not totally clear yet. And there really is no substitute for just making mistakes. And the more mistakes you make, the better you get, which is something that is not commonly known. It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes per day is a good metric, in fact. Well, now this is interesting that the amount of time it takes to grab a random number library seems kind of crazy, actually. But okay, we're learning new stuff. Maybe once you've downloaded it, it's super fast, and you don't have to do this again. Okay, building. Uh-oh. It's not an iterator. Okay, so learn another thing, which is that you can't loop. Let's see, turn. So what I would need to do is this is broken right now. We'll put a note here: broken code fix. And what I can do is say learn to convert to iterator. Right. That's my to do item. I'll put that into the README. We'll just say episode 5. We'll do that. So episode 5. It's this code. Right. Let's see if I can get this thing fixed. That will make me a little more confident that I can do things in Rust by fixing the code. Right. So let's save this, commit it, status, git add star, commit, adding episode. Ooh, checking in on kinds of things I shouldn't be checking in. Got to fix that at some point, but that's a good way to go for today. And next week we'll fix our broken code. All right. See you next week.